Good morning everyone, it's Saturday and it's time for our lovely early morning Rise and Shine class. So this is going to be very much a mixed ability class. So those of you joining in this morning, please do make sure that you stay working at a level that's safe and appropriate for your body. So especially if I haven't met you, I haven't taken a health screening form with you, you are taking part in this class at your own risk. I don't know your body and I can't make modifications especially for you. So please do listen to any modifications I might make because they might be something that's important for you to bear in mind when you're doing the exercises. So if you're joining us this morning, please do make sure you've got a nice, safe, clear working area. Okay, no trip hazards, you're nice and safe. Get yourselves a drink if you want something to sip while you're working. And we are going to do a little bit of sideline work today, not too much, so a block or a cushion to support your head while you're working. So, little message. Good morning, Lucy. Hi. Sorry, what's it say? I am very well, thank you. I hope you are too, and the rest of the family. Okay, so we're going to be starting in a couple of minutes' time. So if you need to, just grab what you need, make sure you've got everything set up. So it is an apparatus-free class. We're not using any weights or bands or anything like that this morning. So you literally just need your mat and something to support your head with. And TJ, hi TJ, good morning. Hope the boys are joining in as well. Okay, so oh, it's May already. So yes, nearly the end of spring, and everything in the garden is growing apace. So I think I'd better get out there this afternoon once I've got all your YouTube videos up for everybody to watch and enjoy at their leisure. Okay, so I think we will make a start in a moment. We'll just give it I'm a little bit early. We'll just wait, make sure that everybody who's joining in can join in at the right time. We want to start without anyone and then feel a little bit left out this morning. Okay, so what did I have to tell you? No classes next Friday because it is a bank holiday. So I'm going to take a day off, give my body a bit of a rest. And in a few weeks' time I'm going to be doing a very interesting online workshop. So I'm not doing the workshop, I'm taking part, and it's all about the thoracolumbar fascia. So that's all the connective tissue in your back, how it works, how it affects the rest of the body, and exercises all to do with that. So I'm very excited about that. And that's going to help me to give a bit more advice and targeted exercises for those of you who do suffer with lower back problems and maybe other problems in the back that are related and associated with that. So I'm very excited about doing that in a few weeks' time. Okay, so we are going to make a start now. Make sure you bring yourselves into your good standing posture, heels underneath your hip bones, toes level, and just make sure everything is squared up, hips, shoulders, pressure into the centre of the heel and balance that out through the balls of the feet. Pelvis into neutral, so just check that your kneecaps aren't locked because otherwise you'll really struggle to get that neutral if you've locked your kneecaps tight. And lengthening up through the spine, think of softly bringing that chin back and lifting the base of the skull to feel the muscles in the front of the throat. Softly switch on. So from there, we're going to turn the palms forwards. We're going to take a big breath in, bring the arms up, and exhale, bring them back down. And again, inhale, and exhale. So as the arms come up, feel that that pulls the breath into the side of the rib cage. Try and feel it go all the way around. One more. And down. Right, working into that connective tissue. Let's slide one leg out, reach the opposite arm out, Push your big toe away and reach through the little finger. Exhale. Same side, slide out, inhale. And exhale. One more. Stretching out the tissue in the back, changing sides, reach out. And down. Reach and stretch. One last one, stretching out. And down, right, straight into foot pedals. Lift through the little finger and lifting the heel. So just wake those feet up, allowing the toes to spread out and feel that you're pressing more into that middle toe. That's going to help you with your tracking, keep the knees over the toes. And just flow the breath with the movement. Now we're going to leave the arms here. We're going to keep going with the legs, but now into bow and arrow. Pulling back, stay facing the front. Let's just wake up the arms and shoulders. So pulling that elbow up behind you and just taking care that you don't drop the shoulder cap forward. So keep the shoulders open. One more each side. Now staying there with the arms, we're going to peel up, come up into a knee lift, lift the opposite arm. And back down. Peel up, stretch the toe, roll back down. Peel up and back down. And make sure you're pulling up through that hip. One more each side. Now we're going to bring the arms down and come into a squat. Just swing the arms forwards and push back up. So nice and free with those arms. Maintaining that length in the spine. Making sure you feel like you're lowering your hips rather than your chest. Inhale down. Exhale, pushing up. Let's do two more. Last one. And up. Now straight into some sways. Press into the toes. And centre into the heels. And centre. So you can really focus into your body on what you feel switching on, what activates as you move. Because it really does change through the whole body. Into the toes and then into the heels. One more each way. Now we're going to come back to those squats, but we're going to add in a heel lift as well. So not in the squat, after. So down into that squat. Now keep the arms there, push up, come onto the toes, lift the heels and back down. Into your squat, push up, down, squat, push up and down, squat and push up and down. Keep those ankles strong, press into that middle toe for me. Sorry, I took the arms down then, I'm getting really swingy with the arms. Just swing the arms. So as long as they're coming up in that rise. One more. And up and down. Right, back to those foot pedals but into a knee lift. You're going to lift the knee. Now extend the leg, stretch it out. Bring it in and back down. So we're getting hamstrings and quads in and back down. Let's step this way a little bit. Peel up, stretch and open, and down. One more each leg. Last one. Now, instead of taking that leg in, you're going to send it back. Step onto it. Come down into your lunges. So again, front leg, think of lowering your hip towards your heel. And that's going to help you get that hamstring working. Just 4, and then we're going to come back to that knee lift and step it down. Changing sides, let's peel up. Lift the knee, let's step it back. Ready for your lunges. Tall spine, keep that chin tucked in. Think of lowering that hip. And back to your knee lift, and step it down. Okay, we're going to do the same with squats now. We want to start with feet together. Okay, so squeeze the knees together, and we're going to peel up. Lift the knee, step out, come down into your squat. Now try not to drag the foot back in, I want you to pick it up, step it down. Changing sides, peel up. If you feel more comfortable feet hip distance, please do. But we're just trying to get a little bit of inner thigh as well. So if you can squeeze those knees together, peel up. Stepping out into your squat and pick it up and back down. Peel up, out into your squat and in. One more each side and out into your squat. And up and down. Last one. And back in. Okay, from there, staying feet together. A little bit of shoulders now. Let's give those legs a rest. Palms up for dumb waiter. Make sure you haven't pinned your elbows into your side. They should be free. And it's not a shoulder blade squeeze, this is shoulder cap. Okay, I'd like you to try and feel it here. Now, as you exhale and rotate, I'd like you to really squeeze your knees together and lift up through the pelvic floor and abdominals, up through the chest. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, squeeze and rotate. Inhale, back in. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, back in. So this is where, if you do have a resistance band, just to hand right there, if you want to add that in, by all means do. Because I'm noticing, having done this with resistance bands in 2 workouts this week, this doesn't really feel like I'm doing very much. So exhale, rotate, and in. But it's just nice to get the shoulders moving in different directions. And down. One last one. Squeeze, lift that pelvic floor. And down. Okay, from there we're going into a side stretch. Let's take the arm up. Now think of lifting out of the hip rather than pulling your shoulder up towards the face. So lift out of the hip, lengthen the body. reach across the ceiling. Big breath in and back down. So again, we're trying to keep those knees fairly tight together. If that's not comfortable for you, please stay hip distance. And down. Up and stretch, inhale. One more. And down. Now we're going to add in the second arm. So if you have spine density issues, hernia, prolapse, diastasis, just stay with what we've just done, okay? Because it's quite strong abdominal and there's pressure on, a little bit of pressure on the spine too. So we're going to come up, inhale. Now exhale, reach that arm out. Squeeze your knees together, down and up. Inhale, exhale, down and down. Inhale, exhale. Last one. And down. Let's give those shoulders a roll. Now, we're going to step the feet apart back to hip distance, and we're just going to do a little bit of rotation work. Now, those of you in the group that I just mentioned, so particularly spine density issues, you're going to allow your hips to move with this. Otherwise, if you can, I'd like you to try and keep your hips as fixed as possible. We're just going to take the arms out. We're just going to open them out. Take a big breath in. Draw the arms back. Open the chest. Exhale, come back in. So we're just warming up first. Open out. Exhale. So those of you who flare your ribs a bit, make sure that you're stretching across the top of the shoulders and not pushing your bottom rib up. One more. Stretch open. And then come back to in line with the shoulders. Right, let's take a breath in. Inhale. Exhale. So try and follow the hand. Let's get the head and the eyes moving as well. Rotate. We're going to do one more each way. Big breath in, exhale. And arms down. Now, spine density issues, so osteoporosis, osteopenia, you're going to stay with that for me, please, because this next exercise really is not suitable for your spine. We're going to step into second position, so that's turned out legs and stepping a little bit wider. We're going to take the arms up. Now we're going to take a lunge, and you're going to rotate and reach for your ankle. Really lift that back arm as well. Up and send. So you're pressing over into a lunge. Rotate, lift that arm, push your palm up to the ceiling. So this is a Pilates exercise called the saw, but we're doing it in standing. Turn and press and up. One more each way. And up and bringing those arms down. So now we're in second position. You can all join me here in second. We're going to take a plie. So that means, unlike a squat, you're going to keep your shoulders over your hips, so no leaning forward. So if you've got tight hamstrings, you might struggle with that. Just keep your range of movement small. And just a big breath in. Press those thighs back. I want you to feel a lovely squeeze and wrap from the muscles at the back of the hip. Big inhale. Pushing back up. Really use the floor. ground yourself, connect to the floor, push. 2 more. One last one. And up. Lovely. From there, let's turn the toes in. Turn in. Feel that stretch. Bring the heels in. Turn the toes in again. Feel how it changes in the hip. And back to feet together. Right. So from there, we're going to come into tandem stance. So stay with feet together if you think you'll be a little bit too wobbly if you stand heel to toe. So if you're in tandem, make sure that you've got the same pressure in each foot. You're not just stood on one foot. Again, connect to that inner thigh. And we're going to turn the palms behind us. Think of opening the front of the shoulders. And we're going to push the arms back. Exhale. Watch for the chin wanting to jut forwards. All those ribs lift. So really connect into your core and try and feel that strong zip going all the way up into the throat. 2 more. Now we're going to hold this one. Hold. Little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release back down. Let's give those shoulders a roll. Okay, changing sides. Let's swap feet over. Center yourself through the feet and turn the palms back. This time, shoulders squeeze. So I'd like you to pull round and think of your little fingers coming together, and you're reaching down towards the back of your knees. So I'd like you to try and feel that towards the bottom of your shoulder blades rather than up into the back of the neck and across the top of the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. One more. And release. Stepping back to hip distance. Let's just take a head turn over one shoulder. Nod the chin down, tuck it, pull it towards your collarbone. Up and the other way. Turn. Bring the chin down. Up and centre. Right, we're going to come down onto the mats now. So either just bring yourself down nice and safely. If you are a more advanced Pilates participant, then you're going to follow me into a roll down into plank. So otherwise, just come down safely onto the mat. So you're going to stand hip distance, take the arms up, bring them forwards. Please don't attempt this if your body isn't used to doing it. Walking out. Shoulders over your wrists. Hold that plank for a moment. Push away from the floor. And lower one knee and then the other knee. And we're all down onto the mat. We're going to start in kneeling. We're going to work through some thigh rock back exercises now. So it is called the thigh rock back because we want to activate the whole of the thigh, front and back. So if you're a very quad dominant person, you might find you're getting a lot more activation here. I want you to really try and switch on those hamstrings for me. So if we're pulled up tall, you shouldn't really feel too much switching on to hold you upright. Just a gentle activation. No one place is dominant. Are you a glute squeezer? Have you gripped your glutes? Just see what happens if you let them go. Do you feel your core work a little bit more now? So we're going to take one hand underneath the tummy button, right down between the hip bones, and one hand above the tummy button so that you've got the bottom ribs. Okay, let's take a breath in. Now exhale, Feel all those muscles tighten up underneath your hands. Really draw all the abdominals in, bottom rib coming down. And release. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now keep that going for me. If you're not feeling the muscles tighten underneath each of those hands, I want you to stay here upright and practice this. Similarly, if you have a diastasis, a hernia or a prolapse, you're going to stay upright and just practice your breathing for me, and think about also lifting that pelvic floor. So otherwise, we're going to keep the hands here and we're going into a thigh rock back. We're going to build this up, so you're just going to stay where's safe and appropriate for you. Big breath in. Now exhale, think of reaching away from your knees, rock back. Now did you feel abdominals tighten, or did you feel your back bend and this bit took all the pressure? If that happened, again stay upright. Breath in, exhale. And up. Now you can stay with your hands on your abdominals to monitor. If you know you're safe to do this, you've done this a lot, you've got the technique, arms down, and we'll take an arm float at the same time. So breath in, exhale, rock back, and come up. Notice what's happening in your legs as well. Can you feel your hamstrings working just as much as those quads? Two more. And one last one. And up. Okay, let's bring those arms forward. We're going to go back to the bow and arrow we did at the beginning. Spine density issues, let your hips move for me, please. Collarbones wide. We're going to draw the elbow back and rotate. And centre. So hips fixed if your spine is absolutely 100% tickety-boo. I like that word. And one more. Now stay here if you are upright in that thigh rock back. Otherwise, let's add that in. And up. Exhale. One more each way. And up. Very well done. Right. Let's just take a little curl down. Open that lower back. Slide the hands onto the floor. Come forwards. Now you're going to press one leg back, tuck your toes, push your heel away. So push to get a stretch. And back in. Changing legs, push and stretch. And in. Okay, we're going to come into side lying now, so grab that block or cushion, whichever it is that you're using today, and pop it down ready. So, coming into side lying, we need to make sure we're in a straight line. So this is where, if you've got a mat, you can use the edge of the mat, line yourself up so that your heels, hips and shoulders and head are the same distance away from the front edge of the mat. Now, top hand for support as a stabiliser if you need it. Feel free to take that away if you wish, You can add in a bit of choreography. You could take your arm forwards, you can lift that arm. Just see what feels good for you today. Now we're going into the side leg series, we're going to build it up. Please do listen for modifications. We're going to stretch, lift, flex and down. Now I can get quite a high lift on this because I've done it a lot. So you might need to keep it a lot smaller, especially if you feel your body is dipping into the mat and you're feeling the top side of your body tighten up. So just see what happens if you take that support away. Are you still as steady? Does it challenge your core a little bit more? And that's good. Or are you just too wobbly? We're going to do one more. Now you're going to lower it, but not all the way down. And we're going to flex the foot. What I'd like you to do is take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to push diagonally back. Bring it back down. So you're just drawing a little diagonal line with that heel. And down. And this is a great one for activating the glute med. So you should be feeling it right at the back of the hip here. One more, and down. Okay, into side leg 2 now, if that's appropriate for you. So again, diastasis, hernia, prolapse, spine issues, stay with side leg 1. Or what you could do is stretch the toes, no lift, squeeze the knees together and then release. So you'll stretch, squeeze and release. Otherwise we're going to add in that lift, and feel free to add in the arm too if you feel steady. Let's stretch the toe, lift the leg, inhale. Now strong breath out, reach that bottom leg out, take the arm overhead. Let's flex and come back down. Inhale, exhale, abdominals drawing in. So if you feel that they're pushing out, stay with the legs on the floor. Think of squeezing your knees together with this rather than your feet, because what tends to happen if we think of bringing our feet together is that the bottom foot twists and does funny things, and that's going to affect how the muscles are working in your leg. One last one. And down. Okay, top leg, bend the knee, try not to drop your hip forwards and pull the knee up towards you to feel your hip stretch out. We'll just rest that there for a moment. And then we'll bring both knees up. Just check that you've kept your spine long. You haven't got all cozy. Lengthen that spine out, long waist. Okay, and we're going to go into clams now. So if sciatic issues, you're going to do a straight lift for me. Just keep it small. If you're new to clams, I'd like you to stay here, foot resting on the floor. Otherwise, if you'd like to, you can join me in flying clams. So lift that heel and rest onto your toes. Now make sure you're pressing onto that bottom knee. Take a breath in. Keep pressing onto that bottom knee and turn the top leg out. And back down. Rotate. And down. Make sure you close the knees and the toes, so we're getting full rotation of that whole leg, right from the hip down to the foot. Exhale and inhale. one last one. And down. Relax the foot. Okay. We're going to push up now, and we're going to bring the elbow underneath the shoulder. Just lengthen the legs out a little more, but they're staying bent. And we're going to drop the top foot in front, ready for those who are going to progress this exercise. Now, very important for shoulder strength and stability, feel like you've got the ability to push away from the floor with that arm. So really important that we don't sink in, otherwise you've got no support here. Right, elbow underneath the shoulder, just check it's not out to the side, and push. Okay, that's your starting position. We're going to take the arm up, point to the ceiling, keep your hips still and lift your ribs away from the floor. And back down. I'm only going to do one more of these because I'd like to move this exercise on for those who are ready to. But if here is hard work for you, stay here. Okay, we're going to bring that arm up, inhale. Now lift the ribs, lift the hips. Coming over, push away from that floor with your arm and back down. Now keep pushing, keep that stability in your shoulder. Inhale, exhale, push. Make sure as you land, you feel that you're still on that bottom knee, you've not rolled back. Okay, stay here again if you need to. Otherwise, we're going to take that arm out, make sure your hand is in line with your hip, and you don't want it too far away because we want you to be able to push up over that hand. You're going to take the top leg up, we're coming into a full side bend. Arm comes up, move that rib cage, switch it on. Now push through the foot, push up and over into your mermaid. So if you're doing any of the other versions, you just keep going. We're coming up. Now push up and over, try and get that shoulder over your wrist. That way we're getting the shoulder stability and strength too. We're only going to do one more. Inhale, exhale, push, and over. Really lift those ribs away from the floor and back down. Okay, well done everyone. Let's grab those ankles and take a stretch over. And recover. Right, from there, let's come to the other side. So we're going to work through all of those again on this side. Seamless transitioning, folks. Right, let's lengthen that body out. Again, check you're in that straight line. Include the head. Make sure you've got that chin tucked back and your head isn't forwards, looking down to your toes. So starting with side leg one, support if you need it. Make sure your waist feels lifted, that core is switched on. Let's stretch and lift, flex and down. So you're just going to get as much height with that leg as you can without anything else in the body moving. Okay, because we want it to be this muscle here doing the work. If we dip, you've got other muscles doing the work and we're not targeting the right area. So again, you can take that arm out, a little bit of a challenge. And we're going to do a couple more. And then remember this last one, we're going to hold. Let's flex the foot. Now this is where we lower it a little and you're going to push in that diagonal line, push back, push the heel away from you and back down. Try and do that on an exhale so that you draw the abdominals in, and we're not using the lower back to do this, we are using that muscle at the back of the hip. Push. This is a great one for runners. Last two. And one more. Push and in. Let's lower down. Straight into side leg 2 if that's appropriate. So if not, do what we did on the other side, so either squeezing your knees together or staying with side leg 1. Let's stretch and lift. Inhale. Now exhale, reach that bottom leg out, stretched away from you, flex and down. Add in the arm if you wish. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Flex and down. Don't forget about those feet. Stretch and stretch. Flex and down. Okay, let's give that hip a stretch. So bending it forwards, drop the knee to the mat, but try to do that without rolling the hips forwards. That way you'll get a much better stretch. Okay, from there, keeping the spine long, both knees in now, hips stacked. So just check you're not rotated back or forwards. Vertical line across those hip bones and coming into whichever version of clams you did on the other side. So I'm going to do the more advanced into the flying clams. Heels together, let's turn the knee and toe out, working from the hip. And back down. Exhale. And inhale. Two more. Last one. And down. Okay, from there, coming up onto the forearm, elbow directly underneath that shoulder. That's really, really important. Hips stacked, legs lengthened out, a little more relaxed. Drop the top foot in front, ready. Now push away from the floor and feel this shoulder switch on. So by that I don't mean up here, I mean into the shoulder blade. So get that position and feel like you can push away from the floor. Let's take the arm up, inhale. Now keep the hips still, lift the ribs. And down. So again, whatever you did on the other side, you're going to do on this side. Inhale. Exhale. Now adding in that hip lift if you did it on the other side. And down. One more. Now keep going with that if that was the best version for you. Otherwise, up onto that hand, remember not too far away. You want to be able to get your shoulder over that wrist. Turning the top leg out so your top foot is flat. Again, hips stacked. Let's take a breath in. Stabilise through that shoulder. Push away from the floor through your hand and your foot. Over. Control it back down. So it's a matter of thinking of pushing away from the floor all the time. Inhale. Push. They're your anchor points, your foot and your hand. And down. One last one. Roll back a bit there, that wasn't good. And push. And over. And control back down. Right, let's grab those ankles. Lift up and over into a stretch. And and back down. Right, coming safely down onto our backs now, so we can just slide down, come over onto your back, feet and knees hip distance, shoulders open and wide. So rest onto your little fingers for me and just feel what's happening in your rib cage. Shoulder blades down, rib cage down, pelvis sitting nice and level, even pressure on each side. We're going to go into shoulder bridge now. So let's tuck the spine into the mat. Make sure you didn't use your glutes to do that. Tummy muscles, curl up, push your knees forwards, push, 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 push into the feet and curl back down. So you want to exhale as you move. Take a breath in, exhale, push the knees forwards, take a breath in at the top, okay, stay with that if that's the best version for you. Otherwise, you're coming up. Now, anchor your left foot, come into a knee float with the right. Push through the floor with that left foot. Push, push, push. And back down, changing sides. Push your heel into the floor. That's going to help you keep that glute engaged. And it's not very easy to talk in shoulder bridge. Push and lift. And down, push and lift, and down. Come down if you need to, but if you can you give me one more each leg? Keep sending those knees forwards, and down, and curl back down. Very well done. Right, let's give those knees a hug in and just rock the hips gently from side to side. And then we'll release the legs down onto the floor. We're going to go into hip rolls now. Now, I'm going to show you the basic version, but those of you who work at a higher level and have no abdominal or pelvic floor issues or spine issues, you're going to come straight into the harder version with me, and then we're going to come back down to the easy version. So easier version, so very therapeutic version, great for getting a lovely stretch in the back, is just a little roll side to side. Inhale over, keeping the shoulders anchored down. So if you're working at a more therapeutic level, if you are working with an issue or an injury today, you're going to stay here. Otherwise, you're going to join me in tabletop. Right, feet and knees hip distance. We're not anchoring together now, but I want you to try and keep that feeling of the knees staying in line with each other. So it's very easy to kind of do that and get a funny twist and the knees go all over the place. Right, focus on what your knees are doing. Lift the hip and rotate. Pull back up. Over the other way, keep those knees in line. And up. That's going to make your obliques work harder. Over we go. And up. And then one leg down, the other leg down, and back to the gentle version. Big breath in. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now this time, take the knees over, and the hand that you're looking at, bring that up and over, and that's going to roll you onto your side. Use your hands to push up. Now from there, we're going to come over onto hands and knees, only for a moment, into a cat stretch, curl up, and back down. Let's tuck the toes, bring the hands back. Now you're going to push the feet down, come into squat. I've disappeared off camera, haven't I? And push up. Okay, very well done everyone. So from that standing position, back to hip distance, let's just step one leg back, bend the back knee, come into a hamstring stretch. Remember not to press onto your knee joint, onto the thigh. And let's step forwards and take a stretch up. And in, changing sides. Into that hamstring stretch. And then step onto it, push the arms up, flex those wrists. And stepping in. And let's take soft knees and a big breath in, stretch up. And exhale. And there you go. Have a wonderful weekend everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. So the next class is going to be Monday morning, which is our resistance band or weights class. So stay safe and have a lovely time, and I will see you all very soon.